Have you ever felt a weight on you that nobody else can see? It's not in your shoulders, it's deeper. It's a gravity on your soul. You're the person everyone comes to for advice, but you feel profoundly alone. You feel the world's pain. You're haunted by a vision of how things should be, and you often feel like an alien just visiting this planet. If that resonates, if you felt that click in your chest, then you might be an INFJ. And this isn't just about personality type. This is about the invisible weight you carry every single day. Today we're going to name it. All right, first up, the burden of hyperempathy, or as I like to call it, the human sponge. Let's start with the most famous INFJ trait, empathy. But what people don't get is that, for you, this isn't a choice. It's a neurological reality. Scientists have a term for it, mirror touch synesthesia. It's where your brain's mirror neurons are on hyperdrive. When you see someone hurt, your pain receptors might literally fire off. When a friend tells you about their anxiety, your body can start producing cortisol, the stress hormone, as if the threat is yours. You're not just listening to your friend's breakup story. You're feeling their heartbreak, their rejection, their loneliness. You're absorbing the frustration of your coworker who's underpaid. You're taking on the existential dread of the news cycle. This is the controversial part. This deep empathy isn't the beautiful spiritual gift it's made out to be. It's exhausting. It's intrusive. It leaves you with what can only be described as a social hangover. Days of fatigue after a simple gathering. Not because you're antisocial, but because you've been emotionally digesting the unspoken energies of every single person in that room. You're a human sponge, and you're soaking in a world of dirty water. All right, next up, the never-ending back and forth in your head, the old NITI loop. At the outside world is draining for an INFJ. The inside world is a relentless and different kind of madness. For most people, their mind has a quiet room, a place of rest. For the INFJ, your mind is a 24/7 emergency, road system crossed with a non-stop philosophy seminar that's been running for decades. This is driven by your dominant cognitive function, introverted intuition, or NI. Think of it as a pattern-matching supercomputer running in the background of your soul. It's why you can predict outcomes, see the end of a movie from the first act, and understand people's deepest motives without them saying a word. But this genius has a devastating cost that nobody talks about. This NI engine constantly feeds into your analytical function. Introverted thinking, or TI, creating what's known as the NITI loop. This is the controversial truth of the INFJ mind. You are not just thinking about things you're thinking about the things. You're analyzing the analysis in an endless feedback loop. What did they really mean by that tone of voice 5 years ago? What is the fundamental structural flaw in this entire societal system? How does my childhood connect to my current fear of failure? And what does that say about the human condition? This is why small talk can feel like psychological torture, because your brain is trying to solve quantum physics problems while someone is talking about the weather. The loop doesn't stop when you want it to. It runs in the shower. It runs when you're trying to sleep. It runs during a funeral. This is the engine of your profound insight. But it's a fuel-guzzling engine that never turns off, leading to analysis paralysis and existential fatigue. True mental silence is the rarest and most valuable commodity for an INFJ. You are simultaneously haunted and powered by your own brilliant and tyrannical mind. All right, let's dive into point number 3. The perfectionist's prison. Idealism versus reality. Every INFJ carries a ghost. Not a ghost from the past, but a ghost from a future that never arrived. A perfect, pristine, and breathtakingly beautiful version of how the world should be. This is the essence of your introverted intuition. It's a constant, vivid vision of profound harmony, deep, authentic connection, and perfect justice. But here's the devastating psychological trap. You are forced to live in the daily, grinding collision of that perfect ideal with the messy, superficial, and often painfully cruel reality we all inhabit. This is the perfectionist's prison. You see the potential for transformative harmony in your family, but you're met with gossip and pettiness. You envision a project at work that could change everything, but you're immediately bogged down by bureaucracy and sheer apathy. You crave conversations about the meaning of life and the universe, but you're surrounded by trivial small talk about the weather. This constant friction creates a deep, fundamental grief, a frustration that is so core to your being it's almost impossible to put into words. It's the root of your passion for justice, your crusader mentality, but it's also your greatest source of profound disappointment and isolation. You are in a perpetual state of mourning for a world that exists only in your mind, and the weight of carrying that blueprint alone is utterly exhausting. This is the INFJ curse. To see the sublime beauty of what could be, and to forever feel the acute pain of what is. Comment below if you've ever felt this grief for a world that doesn't exist. And fourth, the secret loneliness of being the therapist friend. This is the most painful and isolating paradox of the INFJ existence. You are the keeper of secrets, the universal vault for everyone's trauma and drama. People you barely know will inexplicably find you and tell you their entire life story. You are the designated therapist friend, the human diary, the emotional Sherpa for everyone else's mountain of problems. But here is the devastating psychological truth that no one talks about. Who holds your secrets? Who asks you the deep, probing, soul-level questions that you ask everyone else? The answer, almost always, is absolutely no one. This isn't an accident. It's a brutal dynamic you've been conditioned to accept. You've been programmed to believe that your own problems are too much, too complex, too dark, too existential, too burdensome. So you wear the mask of the wise, put together guide for everyone else, while inside, you're navigating a labyrinth of your own, completely alone. You provide a depth of understanding and compassion that you rarely, if ever, receive in return. This creates a profound and secret loneliness. You are surrounded by people, yet feel completely unseen. You are known and valued for what you provide to others, not for who you truly are in your intricate, turbulent entirety. You give a level of emotional care that you yourself are starved for, and that is the heaviest, most lonely burden to bear. If you've ever sat with a friend for hours and then gone home to cry by yourself, comment below scene. And fifthly, the exhausting mask of feigned normalcy. To survive in a world that doesn't understand their depth, INFJs become masters of a specific and draining art form, camouflage. This is the final daily weight, the exhausting performance of feigned normalcy. Every single day you consciously put on a mask. This isn't about deception. It's a sophisticated survival tactic, a function of your extroverted feeling FE. You are performing a version of normal human being that the world can easily digest. You laugh at the surface-level joke when your mind is deconstructing its underlying social mechanics. You bite your tongue when you want to point out the profound injustice in a casual comment. You dull your intensity. You simplify your complex webs of thought into simple, palatable sentences, and you hide your constant, simmering passion for meaning behind a veil of pleasant neutrality. The cognitive load of this constant self-editing, this real-time translation of your soul's language into small talk, is utterly and completely draining. It's so a simple trip to the grocery store can require a 2-hour nap to recover from. The greatest relief an INFJ ever feels is not a vacation. It's the moment the door closes, the world is locked out, and you can finally take the mask off. In that sacred silence, you stop performing and just exist. The weight for a little while is lifted, and you are free. Comment below if you've ever calculated the exact social battery cost of an event before even agreeing to go. If you carried this weight with us through this video, if you felt seen and understood for the first time in a long time, then do something for yourself. Comment below and tell us which chapter hit the hardest. Was it the hyperempathy? The loneliness? The mask? Your story helps others feel less alone. Share this video, not just with other INFJs, but with the people who love you. Sometimes, the first step to making the weight a little lighter is helping the people in your life finally see it. You are not broken. You are not too much. You're a deep feeler in a shallow world, and that is a heavy, but ultimately beautiful thing to be.